Hey, I hope you're having a great day. And today we're going to be talking about how to make a quiz in Google Forms. So the first thing you need to do is go to your Google Drive. So just go to drive.google.com, or you can log in through the GPISD webpage, or whatever way, ClassLink, whatever way that you usually get to your Google Drive. Okay, so once you're in your Drive, make sure you're signed in. You'll know that you'll have either your picture or the letter of your last name over here. I think it's last name, or maybe it's 2 letters. But anyways, you'll see the circle will have those letters, and when you hover over it, you'll see that you're in your Google account. You want to be in your GP Apps account, so make sure that you're not using your personal Gmail. Okay, so now you're going to go up here to the New button and click on that, and then now we got to go past all of these down to More. And we're going to choose Google Forms. And just click on Google Forms. And this will take you to Google Forms. So now we're simply going to make our quiz. Now, one of the first mistakes that some teachers make is they forget to have the students give them certain information, like their name and all of that. So the first thing I'm going to do is just, what do I want to call this quiz? So I'm a history teacher, so we're going to call this World War I Causes Quiz. Okay. Actually, I'm going to make it World War II. World War II Causes Quiz. I know those answers better. All right. So the first question that you want to ask is student's first name. Right, so just type in first name. Now you want to know what type of, now notice it automatically changed this to short answer, but if it didn't do that, then you want to change that to short answer. And then you also want to make that question a required question. That way they can't skip it. The student has to answer that question. Now you have a couple of choices right here. One is you could just click New Question, add a question, or you could duplicate the question. Alright, and since the next question that I want to add is going to be exactly like the first question, it's going to be last name instead of first name, I'm just going to duplicate. So I'm just going to hit duplicate. And you notice it duplicated exactly. It's a short answer question. It's required. It gave me the same name, so I just have to go in here and edit it to last name. Okay. Alright, so now I have my first name, my last name. You could also add class period, right? But so if I'm going to do class period, I'm going to change the kind of question it is. So I'm going to add question, right? Class period, right? And then, so now you want to have multiple choice, and that's exactly what it gave you. You can also have a checkbox or a drop-down menu, right? Let's do checkbox, okay? So let's say first period, and you don't even have to put period in there, right? Second, be a third period off. Fourth, right? Fifth, you have 6th period off, so put 7th, and 8th. You know what periods you have on and off, whatever. So, but now this gives the student the option to just click the period they're in and then make it required. Okay. So now the next thing I want to do is I want to make a section between this first section, which is just information I needed from the student, and you can add other boxes for any other information you want to collect from them, but I want to add a section. So this will allow me in section 2 to randomize the quiz if I want to, without randomizing section 1. Okay, so I want all the students to answer section 1 in this order: first name, last name, class period. But in section 2, right, so this is the actual quiz or test, or, right, whatever it is. Okay, and now I start adding questions. So I just click the little plus button to add another question. And so here's where I'm going to actually add my questions. So now remember, the only questions that it will grade for you are multiple choice and true and false type questions. It cannot grade short answers or paragraph questions or fill in the blank, right? It has to be multiple choice or true false style questions. You also can't do matching in here. So just remember you are kind of limited to those, but it grades it for you, so that kind of makes it a little bit worth it. All right, so then the question, what was not a cause of World War II? Treaty of, right, and it'll spell check for you. Treaty of Versailles. Nazi rearming, and we're going to say French aggression, and answer for Nazis invade Poland. Okay, so we have our answers. Now, how do we make this into a quiz? All right, obviously I want to make that a required question. So up here in the options and settings, under the gear here, I'm just going to go over here to quizzes and click make this a quiz. Okay. And so you have some options here. This first one says respondents aren't allowed to open tabs or other applications while taking this quiz on a managed Chromebook. So if you have a Chromebook classroom, you can turn this locked mode on, and it'll keep them from doing anything except that quiz while they're taking the quiz. They can't use Google or any other tabs open. So respondents can see missed questions, correct answers, point values. It's up to you. You can turn these on or off, and then hit save. Okay, so now that it's a quiz, it's going to ask me down here for the answer key. So I need to tell it, one, how many points do I want this to be worth. So if you make them all 1 point, it's going to automatically figure out, like, it's just going to give you an answer of, like, let's say you had 13 questions, and if the student got 11 of them correct, then in the tally, it's going to say 11 out of 13. But you can assign them. So let's say you have 10 questions on your quiz and you want to make it worth 10 points. You can do that. Okay, that's not right. All right, French aggression is the right answer. That was not a cause of World War II, so I could put not. Oh, because I'm not editing. I click edit the question. So I'm going to come back here. Not. Okay. All right, so notice now it has this green check here that tells me that that's the right answer. It will not show that to the student. All right, if I want to, I can get rid of these of a question if I only want to have 3 or 2. Like, let's say I want to have a true and false question. So let's make my next question a true false question, right? So there's no true false. So I'm just going to pick multiple choice and say this is the flag of the German Empire, right? So so I can add a picture if I want, right? So I can just come here, add an image, and then I can search. I can go to my Google Drive, or I can upload from my computer, or I can just search the internet, right? German Empire flag, right? And there we go. So I can just select that one and put it in there. It's an unsported format. Okay, well, it doesn't like that one. So let's try this one. Select. Great. You would think it would only give me the kind that I want. Select. Well, it's being difficult today, but you should be able to add an image from there. You can definitely add an image from your drive, right? You should be able to add an image from your drive. So let's see. Now I have some images here. Okay. So there we go. It let me add an image from my drive, and I can put this up above that question right there. and then true. And notice it already suggests false. And if I just click on it, it'll add it already for me. And then I can make it required, and then put the answer, and since this is not the flag, false. Okay, and then add another question, and so on. You can keep adding questions until you have as many questions as you want. Oh, the other thing I didn't do was set the number of points, so 10 points. So I could keep adding questions, right? And then even within a question, like let's say, let me add another question. So which of the following was not new to World War II? Okay, so then I can add different things like, let's see if it'll let me add an image. Machine gun, right? Select. Oh, let me add it this time. Okay, so, and I can even put here, you know, machine gun, in case I'm worried that they're not going to know what it is, right? And then, you know, I can add B25. Right. There we go. Select. So, and then nuclear bomb. Oh, not from my drive. Search Nagasaki bomb. There we go. Okay. All right. So I'm only going to have 3 answers on this question, and the machine gun was not new to World War II. So we're going to come up here. We're going to go down here to the answer key, make it required, answer key, 10 points, and choose the machine gun. It's not new. Okay, so now when you're ready, let's say we've got all of our questions on here, right? So we're only going to do 30 points. Then how do you give this quiz to your students? So, okay. So I don't need to go into the settings anymore. I'm just going to go to send, and then you can get the link, right? So you can just copy this link right here and just copy it. And now you can put that into your Google Classroom, right? By just going to your Google Classroom. So I'm going to go to my classroom, right? And if I want to assign that to my students, okay, I'm going to go to my social studies one over here. And if I want to assign that to my students, I'm just going to go to classwork, right? Create assignment. And then I can go here to the link and then paste that link in there, add link, right? And then World War II quiz, take quiz in Google. Just take quiz. And add a due date. You know, I'm going to have it due next Friday. And add a topic or whatever, or don't add a topic. It's up to you. And then you hit assign. And then every student will be able to see that quiz. They'll be able to click on it, and then they'll go and start answering the quiz. When they do, their answers will appear here under the responses tab. Right, so make sure it should default to accepting responses. When you don't want to take any more responses, you can turn that off to where it's not accepting responses. So that way they can't take it again or whatever if you decide you don't want them taking it again. You can have it send you email for every response. I wouldn't do that on a quiz. You can download the responses. And you can also turn that into a spreadsheet. Right, and this is what I would suggest that you do is turn it into a spreadsheet. Create a new spreadsheet, create, and then it's going to show you all their responses. So it's going to tell you timestamp when they took it. It's going to show you their GP Apps account, what their score was, first name, last name, class period, And so you can sort by class period. You just come over here and sort, right?